So today is Saturday. It is March 4th, 2023. And the reason why I am telling you what today is because it's a weekend. Not only is it a weekend, it is a beautiful weekend. Like, officially, winter is over. At least where I live here in Northwest Florida, along the Emerald Gulf Coast. We've got boats out. We've got people hanging out, having a good time at Crab Island. The harbor is jumping, and I'm actually heading out now to go meet up with some friends and just, enjoy this weather, enjoy this location, enjoy this weekend. In doing that, I called a friend of mine to see if they wanted to join us all in meeting up and grabbing a few drinks, having a good time, and just hanging out. And they told me something very interesting. They told me, I wish I could, but I can't. And I'm like, what's wrong? You don't want to hang out with us anymore? We're not cool enough to hang out with? He goes, no, it's not that. You're still cool, but I have to work. I'm like, since when do you work on the weekends? And he says, well, since the company that I work for decided to lay off about 15% of our workforce and our employees, I now have to pick up the slack and work the weekends. I said, well, that sucks. What day do you get off now? He said, well, I don't really get any days off now. So I pretty much work 7 days a week. I'm like, okay, well, at least you're making more money. He's like, well, not necessarily, because I'm considered a salaried employee. Therefore, my compensation, my pay, my salary is set. I don't receive any overtime or any extra for working longer. I just work longer. I was like, well, F that. He goes, I wish I could. I wish I could say that. I wish I could walk away. But to be honest with you, I'm in no position to do that. And I've made a lot of poor decisions. I made a lot of poor choices. I let a lot of time go by. And I really need this job, and I can't walk away from it. At least not until I have some alternative solution backup to go to. And I mean, even his words, not mine. My boss told me, he says, look, we've laid off a lot of people here, and odds are there will be more layoffs coming. But if you want to keep your job, then you're going to have to do what needs to be done in order for that to happen. So he basically made this ultimatum of work 7 days a week without getting any extra added pay, or don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you on the way out. And I don't think that this is isolated to this particular person, this particular industry, this particular location. With what has been going on here recently with companies initiating and executing mass layoffs left and right, and knowing that most of their staff, most of their employees, most of those remaining on the payroll, or who would like to remain on the payroll, are not financially set in a sound footing, in a position to walk away comfortably without any other option already in place, while other options are much more difficult and harder to acquire because of the current situation in the state, the jobs market and layoffs have been. So trying to bounce around and jump from job to job, and with doing that, increase your pay and increase your perks and benefits, with that being this point in time, just having the ability to have time off. What isn't like what it once was. And I'll tell you what, for those who have been out of work for a while, they are going to be chomping at the bit, taking up these opportunities and downgrading the perks because they just want to get a paycheck. They are struggling. These are the folks that have maxed out their credit cards. They have no money in savings, and they're broke, dead broke, and they're going to take anything and everything they can get. So this doesn't even begin to discuss how this is going to further be amplified by OpenAI, ChatGPT. I think it was Bard AI, which is what Google's working on. So that's just going to further exaggerate what we have seen and what we are likely to see moving forward with technology coming in to take jobs. Interestingly enough, I came across a news article that says, we are discussing the economy and finance and all things related to that. And that includes the car market and the automotive industry, as well as how expensive cars have become. The average price for a new car is now $40,000 or $50,000 or something like that. And we're just talking about a base model, nothing special, nothing crazy, no extra options added, probably cloth seats and roll-up crank windows. It's not roll-up crank windows, but you guys know what I mean. And I came across the headline that says that Elon Musk is going to make it so that it will be able to cut the cost down for production in half. Theoretically, you would think that the price would come down. Odds are it probably won't. It just means that the cost will come down to produce these vehicles, these Teslas, these Model S's, these Model Y's, these Model 3's, Cybertruck, the Roadster, if it ever comes out, the Model X. But how's he doing it? Well, he's doing it with advancements and upgrades and integrations of technology, AI, and finding ways to cut his costs and his overhead, which means employees, workers, staff. Okay. Remember, I told you guys typically the most expensive operating overhead expense for a business is the human component of the workforce. And he's doing this by shifting the operations to Mexico. So this is going to allow for a reduction in the cost to build. But if we see this trend continue, then we'll see more jobs lost here, and thus more competition created with the scarcity of the employment opportunities that are few and far between and available for anyone looking for a reasonable income. Working at McDonald's is probably not going to produce that. But even being said, I went to McDonald's today, haven't been in years, and there's no employees to take your order. You use a kiosk, you punch it in on the screen and it does everything, and you just wait until the order's popped out, which most of that's probably automated back in the kitchen too. And this is the direction we're going. So the few employees that do work there that are barely getting by on minimum wage will then soon be eliminated altogether, as these companies continuously work towards doing just that, cutting their costs, maintaining their profits, increasing their profits. I mean, a hash brown was like $2.60 for a hash brown. It's crazy. This is the world we live in. And unfortunately, this is going to affect so many people in so many ways, from the standpoint of having the ability and opportunity to even have a job, but that job being able to pay them a living wage appropriate for their current situation. Now, this living wage is by no means the burden of the employer. It's just the simple fact of the matter is that how many jobs will you have to work? How many hours will you have to work? How many days will you have to work? How many weekends will you have to forfeit in order to just make enough money to be broke? If that makes sense. Now, obviously, there are alternative ways that we can try to mitigate these likely scenarios that are going to be on the shoulders, added burden, added stress, added anxiety for so many people. But, the basics, folks, we got to make more money. We got to go out. We got to make more money. And when we do that, we got to make sure that we're not spending more money. A lot of people come to me and ask, well, how do I make more money? I think probably the most common questions that I get are, how do I make more money and what do I invest in? So just to touch on the latter, investing for beginners, if you guys want to know more about that, feel free. Free links in the description down below. Contact me, join the network, come on over. As far as how do I make more money, and these could also be intertwined and work together. But how do I make more money? Well, then let me just put it to you this way. There are numerous ways that people can make more money. But if I were to tell you to go and join the military because they offer a very attractive sign-on bonus now, because it's very hard for them to recruit people for armed forces, any branch of the military for that matter, for the most part. I think the Air Force is probably like one of the top paying. Don't quote me on that. G.I. Justin and I were having this conversation. Go check out G.I. Justin's channel. He's got a lot of fantastic information. He also is a veteran, served in the Army, and he's a helicopter pilot, which we're actually working on getting a helicopter so we can bring you guys a video from the skies. But that'll be in a future video. So, I could say do that. And that could potentially put you in a position to make more money and also spend less, because you got to think you're going to be in a very advantageous tax position from that, and your expenses are going to be reduced dramatically because obviously you're going to be deployed. However, you may come back to me and say, well, Kevin, I can't do that. Granted, it could be for a variety of reasons, but you'll just come back and say, I can't do that. Therefore, I would say, okay, well, then perhaps maybe you should get into the medical field. The medical field is a very, very high paying industry, and that'll give you a great opportunity to make a lot of money. Take that money and save it. Take that money, buy some stocks, invest in some stocks, invest in some really good companies, invest in crypto, invest in real estate, invest in other cash flow producing assets, and start building out your portfolio and building up your net worth. And then you may come back to me and say, well, Kevin, I can't do that because of a variety of reasons. I have no experience in the medical industry, or I never graduated high school, or, I don't have a degree, or, I'm not, I won't do well with the sight of, certain things, that would come with being in the medical industry. So I say, okay, well, I tell you what, how about this? How about you get into the tech field? How about you get into coding? How about you get into programming? Because this is a booming industry and a great opportunity for a lot of people to make some really good money and take advantage of the new tech that is rolling out, that businesses are looking for people to connect with, to build out their businesses, albeit it'll more than likely eliminate employees with these companies, but it'll give you an opportunity to make some serious money by coding and programming using OpenAI, ChatGPT, DALL-E, DID, all these new applications that are rolling out, getting in with Web3, which Robinhood now has their Robinhood wallet that they just rolled out. Granted, I'll be excluded for a little while because it's for iOS only. They don't have an Android version yet. Bummer. Not that I would use it anyway, but you may say, well, I'm not good with computers. I don't know anything about technology. I'm actually kind of afraid of technology, and I don't know anything about coding. I don't know anything about programming. And then I would say, all right, well, I just gave you 3 really good ways to make more money, and you just gave me 3 reasons and excuses of why you can't do it. So It's been fun, and we can continuously go round and round with this discussion and this conversation, but honestly, we're getting nowhere. So when you just say, hey, I need to make more money, tell me how to do it, and then I tell you how to do it, and all you do is tell me how you can't do it, then perhaps maybe you should think about the ways that you could. And then once we have that basis and foundation, then we can take that and apply it to the opportunities that exist currently to connect you, what you have available, your skills, your time, your money, and income producing opportunities to get you to make more money. Because making more money could come from you investing time, it could come from you investing money, or it could come from you investing time and money. And that is up to you to decide. Currently, Squirrel Tribe and I are having this conversation on a regular basis, and literally the answer comes down to invest, invest, invest. And she says, well, what do you invest in? Well, obviously, we're going to maintain a strong level of diversity, security, and cash flow. But I told her, invest in what has worked the best. Invest in what brings the greatest returns. Invest in yourself. And we're doing just that. And we're doing it by making the money make more money. Okay? Therefore, not looking to do more work, not looking to put in more hours, not looking to pick up another job or new job. We want to make money, and we want to make money. Because if all we have to do is make money once, and then money can make money, then we've got the infinite money glitch working, where now we have the ability to have time, freedom, flexibility to enjoy days like today, live through passive income streams, multiple diverse income streams, multiple business income revenue sources, and not have to tell people, no, we can't because we have to work this week and because our boss said you either work or you're fired. That's the goal, okay? And when you look at it from that perspective, you got to figure out, where's your strong suit, where's the greatest return, and then you have to execute. You have to execute, and you should, if everything is, in order, reap the benefits of all that we just discussed. So, that's going to be different for everybody, but it can work for anybody. And I've actually seen it personally numerous times. And, the secret really is figuring out what's the best plan of action, getting out of your own way, and then executing on that plan. Although at the end of the day, we may technically still work a lot, the difference is we work for ourselves. We work doing what we want. We work when we want and where we want. And even though it may seem like, okay, sure, you've put in 80, 90 hours of work this week, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. Now, I'm not trying to push this life onto anyone, but I am offering it as an opportunity if anyone wants to discuss it, to determine and find out how that they can utilize it as well for themselves and make it work for their particular situation, and to help them accomplish and achieve and reach the goals that they have set out for themselves. Remember, a goal is nothing more than a wish or a dream without a plan. Once you have that plan, you have to execute. And if you execute, then odds are you're going to be in a much better position to receive the end goal of what you are after. Which, if it is making more money or investing to earn more money and develop passive income streams, or both, then folks, by all means, you know how to reach me. Links in the description down below, free links down below. Don't forget, diversify. I've diversified with Hard Assets Alliance, and I can't tell you how happy I am that I did. I sleep much better at night knowing that I've made the right choices for me and my family, especially with the direction that the economy is going. and what we're seeing happening with the US dollar, what we're seeing happening with the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, plans from the WEF, which they have actually just released an update. Go check out their website, the update for the WEF World Economic Forum plans for a recession 2023, and central banks, specifically the Fed, pushing for CBDC, Executive Order 14067, and the changes that we're going to be seeing here in America with the banks in just a short while. Folks, I hope this information is helpful, useful. Thank you for watching. I'm Kevin at Kevin247, Kevin Prepper, or just Kevin in all caps. And I'll see you guys again real soon. Take care.